Thanks to Annika and Matthew for hosting this event. I spend the majority of my day in Claude Code and Codex writing code, but this is Claude for everyone. And so I'm excited to talk about a topic I spend a fair amount of time thinking about, and you should too, how not to get one-shotted by these new tools. Here's a 5-minute speed run on cognitive security. Picture this, you're in a meeting and your team is deciding whether to expand into a new market. Someone says, let's ask Claude. You type in the question, you get back a beautifully structured answer, pros, cons, recommendations, everyone nods. You move forward. 6 months later, it's clear the decision was wrong. The information you used was good, the framing of the response was borrowed. Claude gave you a clean story and you absorbed it without ever asking. Whose assumptions am I inheriting? What biases are baked into the way this answer was structured? What would need to be true for this to be completely wrong? If this sounds familiar or even possible, this talk is for you. Cognitive security. It means protecting your ability to think clearly, reason independently, and form conclusions that are actually yours. To underline how important this is, let me give you 2 examples showing you how weird and impressionable our minds can be. The philosopher René Girard spent his career showing that most of human desire is borrowed. We don't want things because we independently evaluated them. We want them because someone we admire wants them. Our opinions work the same way, so do our beliefs. This is how we're wired. The previous quote reframed is, we do not like things because we like them because others like them. This can be a terrifying thing for some people to internalize. Here's an extreme example. Before 1994, anorexia barely existed in Hong Kong. Then a young girl publicly starved to death. Media coverage imported Western diagnostic frameworks. Within years, cases exploded, now matching the Western pattern exactly. The information itself and how it was presented reshaped the illness. Info hazards such as this are information that, once known, corrupts the system that received it. Your brain is a system, and it can be corrupted. Now think about the decisions you make every week with the help of AI. Strategy, hiring, positioning, budgets. Every response may carry framing you didn't choose, and the more you rely on it, without examining how it's shaping your thinking, the more your decision-making gets outsourced to a system that doesn't know your context and doesn't care about your outcome. But used well, these same systems that corrupt are able to protect. Let's see, I might need tech support, I might not. Okay, so here's an example of a question, and we've applied some business context. And so in the business context, we've got a 4-person consultancy. We describe the team, we describe the financial situation, and we describe the situation. The co-founder has been offered a position in another job. If she's going to accept it, she would have to restructure or wind down the organization. And this is not, of course, a question you should use Claude to get the answer for. But it's reasonable to use Claude to inform your decision. And what we can see is that we get an okay answer. It highlights that it's a hard call. It highlights the financial picture is tighter than it looks. And it highlights that the startup retainer changes the math, but not as much. All these prompts are available on my website. I'll have a link at the end. But let's look at how it can be better. Boom. Boom. Okay, same question, same business context, cognitive security prompt. And we won't read it all now. You can check it out on the website, but I'll describe it quickly. So it's going to interview the user first. It'll use the Ask User Question tool to present some reasonable questions. It will name what's distorting my thinking. It'll explore cognitive biases. It will steelman every path and then invert that. Give conditional guidance, and let's see what happens. what was this big? The Ask User Question tool is great because you give the prompt, and up in Claude Code or Cowork or whatever, it will present some questions for you. And so I went through this, answering in the role of the business owner. And the final result is much better as information to use with your own specific knowledge to inform the decision. It highlights things that could be distorting your thinking. It uncovers potential cognitive biases. It says maybe not anchoring so much on one of the coworkers' situation. It describes a mimetic pull. Mimetics is the Rene Girard stuff. What else? Missing perspective. Things that are being overweighted and underweighted. It identifies 3 potential paths and steelmans each and inverts them all. What else? And this output isn't perfect. This output is much better than the first. Whenever you're doing decision making, be aware of how you could get one-shotted into making poor decisions. Let's switch back here. Thank you very much. There's my website. There's a blog post on there with all the prompts, the business context, and the CogSec prompt as well. Thank you.